Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike and today I have 20 favorite products from 20 favorite brands in under 20 minutes for you today. This was created first, I think, by JenLuvsReviews, and I've seen some other YouTubers like Samantha March and Angelica Nukvis do these things, and I thought it would be fun. I could sort of do mine as well, so I have selected 20 different products from 20 of my favorite brands, and I'm going to be talking to you about that in this video. So since I want to make sure I can keep it under 20 minutes, let's just get started straight away. So I tried to make sure I had a little bit of everything in here and lots of different brands, including drugstore, and I think one of the most affordable brands that I really love is Essence, and my favorite product by Essence has to be their Make Me Brow Gel. Now, if you don't know what this is a dupe for the Benefit Give Me Brow. I use this religiously. I think this is my third or fourth tube. It retails for like €2.50. It's one of the things that I have in my brows today, even though that bright eye look might be a little bit distracting for you and might be distracting a little bit away from my brows, but this is what I use all the time in my brows and I absolutely love it. I have a big issue with brow gels expiring on me really quickly, and this keeps for a long time and it works really well. So that is the Essence. Since we're talking brows, let's continue with brows. One of my favorite brow pencils is by Soap & Glory. Soap & Glory is a brand you can only get in the UK, sadly. I know it's around in other places, but most places only sell their body care items and not their makeup items. So if you want to get their makeup, going to London is probably your safest bet. That's when I pick these up. Whenever I do go on a trip to London, I pick up their Archery brow pencil in the shade Love is Blonde, and this is a really nice skinny pencil. It only comes in 2 shades, which is a bit of a shame because if your shade is in the line, then it's a bit meh. But for me, this is like a very nice taupey brow pencil that works really well in my brows, and this has been my holy grail combination for a long time. I'm currently using another Soap & Glory product in my brows. I can't wait to use it up so it can go back to my old standard skinny pencil by Soap & Glory. So I don't have a lot of like primers in here for you because I don't really have a favorite primer yet. I do have a couple of favorite foundations, and one of my favorite foundations is by Tarte. This is their Rainforest of the Sea foundation, and this also has to be my favorite Tarte product. Not their eyeshadows, not their Shape Tape concealer, but this. Whenever I wear this particular foundation, I get lots of compliments on my skin. It's a very lightweight foundation. It has a light to medium buildable coverage, and it's one of those like very watery foundations, and if you shake it up, you can just like use it up to pump it up into the little pipette. And this comes in a ton of shades, and this is in the shade Fair Beige, and that is my perfect sort of like springtime shade, which is when I like to wear this foundation the most. So Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation, I couldn't recommend more. Another foundation that I would like to recommend is from the drugstore, and that is the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Freshwear Foundation. This is my current favorite drugstore foundation. It's also one of my favorite products by L'Oreal. I could have put in like one of their mascaras because I love L'Oreal for that as well, but this is one of their most recent products, and I just couldn't do anything but rave about this, really. It's a very nice, well, I would say medium to full coverage texture, but it still has a very dewy finish. It wears really well on the skin, and in the winter time, because this is a thicker, richer foundation, it was exactly what I was looking for at that time. It's perhaps a bit heavy for the summertime when I'm filming this, but in the winter time, this is a great one. Let's just stick to complexion products for a moment, and I have 2 concealers for you. I think that if you look into Catrice as a brand, and there is one thing you're looking at, try out their concealer. Their Liquid Camouflage Concealer is one of the best concealers I've tried. It's like $4 or $5, like depending on where you live, it may be a bit more expensive or where you get it. This doesn't come in a whole lot of shades though. I was also very taken by their One Drop Coverage Concealer, which they launched earlier this year. However, I already used it up, and 2, it's not available everywhere yet, which is why I wanted to recommend this concealer by Catrice, because it is the most widely available. This is their Liquid Camouflage Concealer. I have mine in the shade Natural Rose 007, and it's a really nice like pinky undertoned concealer, which is perfect for my complexion. This doesn't crease on me, it wears well, it looks great all day, and it's just very affordable. Now, you know about me that I love me a good affordable concealer anyways, because my other favorite concealer is by Makeup Revolution, and this also has to be my favorite product by Makeup Revolution. I've decided that I'm kind of over their eyeshadow palettes for now. They just released so many, and I've tried so many, and a lot of them are okay to nah. So none of them are super duper great, which is why I don't really, like, I'm kind of over that, which is why I was like, Makeup Revolution is still one of the brands I'm always eyeing up, but their concealer has to be my favorite one. This is their Conceal and Define Concealer. Very much like the Catrice concealer, this doesn't crease, it stays put all day, this stays looking nice all the time, and this actually comes in a ton of shades. So to me, these two are very comparable, but this has a much better shade range than the Catrice does, so that's perhaps good to know. Moving on to powder then, and I have two favorite powders by two different brands. Of course, the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Diffused Light. Where would I be without this? You know I'm using this in my Shop My Stash, if you've watched those videos, and I've hit major pan, and the pan just keeps expanding, and I'm absolutely loving this powder. It is very expensive and very bougie, of course, because Hourglass is a very expensive brand. But still, I really like this product, and I would highly recommend, if you're looking to splurge on a powder, make it Hourglass. Now, another brand that is definitely one of my favorites that I'm always eyeing up, and I like a lot of their products, is Too Faced. But I wasn't sure what product to feature by Too Faced because I feel their eyeshadow palettes are really good, but they're not my favorite. I've tried a couple of their lipsticks, which I wasn't too fussed about. I like some of their blushes, their bronzers, and then I was like, you know what? The only Too Faced product that I've repurchased time and time again is this. And this is their Primed and Poreless Pressed Powder. This is a fresh one. I haven't used this yet. I actually want to start using this when the Hourglass runs out because I've had it in my stash for some time now, so I do want to go and use this up. This is a very finely milled pressed powder. You use it up quite quickly. That's the only downside to this. But to be honest, in terms of like a powder that doesn't have any tint to it, I think this is one of the best translucent powders on the market. You don't see this. This is undetectable. It sets your makeup in place, but it doesn't mattify too much. It actually makes your face look really, really nice and almost like airbrushed, where this adds luminosity and it really sort of adds a lot of glow to the skin, and it doesn't really set. This is more of like I would say a finishing powder rather than this being more of a setting powder. So depending on what you need, either one of these are really, really good. So now that we're pretty much getting into color territory, I'm very excited always about colorful products because those are my favorite. Let's just start with an OG favorite, and that is this blush by Benefit. This is their Coralista blush. Again, I've hit pan on this blush because I'm absolutely loving it. I've been using this all summer. I'm currently not wearing it because I have another blush in my Shop My Stash, which I really wanted to start using a bit more. And I do feel that now that I've used it a few months, I'm like, yep, I've hit pan on it. I'm okay. So, but this is one of my OG favorites. I go back to this every summer. Another blush that I wanted to feature in here is this one by Kiko, and this is their Shade Fusion blush in 05 Marsala. I knew I wanted to feature Kiko as one of my favorite brands because they're amazing. They have pretty affordable products. A lot of the times they do really good sales though, which is why the brand is affordable. If you buy things at full price, it's more like mid-range, I feel like mid-range drugstore, but not super expensive. But they very often do 30% off, and that's when I bought this, and then you don't pay as much. And this is a stunning blush. It's very comparable to Hourglass Mood Exposure and those kind of shades. It's a very nice neutral blush that just really gets the job done, and I have nothing else that really does the same thing as this does in my collection. So yay for unique products at a drugstore price point. Another unique product at the drugstore is this one by Maybelline. I racked my bronzers the other day, and when I did that, I put this in my #1 spot. This is the City Bronzer in Medium Warm, and I am loving this so much. This bronzer is by far one of the best bronzers I've tried in a long time. I'm wearing a different bronzer today because, again, I wanted to try something else. because I've been wearing this so much, but it's a really, really good bronzer. And I cannot recommend this enough. This is just a really, really good bronzer that will just see you through any sort of situation. I thought it was too dark for me, but in the end, with a light hand, this works really well. Continuing on with face products, of course, we have highlighter. Who does not love a good highlighter? I love Becca. I know that a lot of people are now falling out of love with the pressed shimmer perfectors, but I still love mine. This is the one in Prismatic Amethyst, and this is such a stunning highlighter. And as you can see, I've used this so much. The pattern has completely worn down in the middle. And this is one that I like to wear a lot in the spring, summertime, but also in the winter, because it's quite fair and it has this like pinky duochrome shift to it, like pinky purpley, and I just love this. I know Becca highlighters aren't for everyone. They're super expensive, but I really like them. But a highlighter that made it all the way to almost the top spot very, very quickly the minute I purchased it was NARS's Fort de France. So I was thinking, like, NARS has some great products, and I've tried a couple of them in the past, but this has to be my favorite NARS product. This, as you can see, look at that. I only used this for like 4 weeks to a month straight, and I wore this every single day last winter after I purchased it because it's so, so stunning on the cheeks. It's like a goldy tone, but it sheers out really nicely. And this is one of those formulas where when you apply this, you can really make it look like glass on your skin. This is much more of a glow, a shine, more so than this, for instance. This still looks a little bit powdery, and you can definitely see you're wearing highlight. But with this, you definitely get this like really nice sheen, and you can really work it into the skin, and it looks very beautiful that way. I wasn't sure what to feature in here because I like a lot of different lip formulas, and I was like, one of my favorite brands is Urban Decay, and I haven't featured them here yet. And I was like, their Vice lipsticks are actually some of my favorites. This is one of my favorite lipstick formulas, especially this one, their Comfort Matte. This is in the shade Back Talk, and I don't have any shade like this in my collection as well. It's very unique. I have like 12 or 14 of these, and I love them. And I think that when I have to pick an Urban Decay product, this would be my favorite. I love their eyeshadow palettes as well, but as I was going through my eyeshadow palette drawer, I was like, there are other brands that I want to feature in terms of eyeshadow. So that's why I put in an Urban Decay lipstick. Now, another brand that I also really like, but that I haven't tried a lot from, is Oprah. It would be very logical to put in one of their highlighters, for instance, Rodeo Drive, because that's very famous. But I wanted to feature this, and this is their liquid lipstick in Atlantic City. And I really, really love the Oprah lipstick, liquid lipstick formula. It's not too drying on the lips. I can wear this all day and it doesn't feather, doesn't smudge. It stays put all day, and a bright, like good red lipstick like this is of course a classic. I have very many of these, but in a liquid lipstick form, I found it very hard to find in a comfortable formula, and that's why the Oprah liquid lipstick has to be one of the best products in my makeup collection. Moving on to eyes. Now, you know about me that I like to double prime my lids, and so I always use like a sheer anti-creasing kind of eyeshadow primer, but I also use this. And this is the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. This is what mine is looking like right now. I started using this, I think, about 6 months ago or so. I used one of these up completely. And I wanted to feature MAC in here because MAC is still one of my favorite brands. It's just that I feel that they weren't really able to keep up with a lot of the makeup trends, and that's why not everybody's talking about them anymore. But I'm a bit nostalgic for MAC, and this is a product I will definitely repurchase. They have some really good basics in their line, and their paint pots are definitely one of them. And this is just one I reach for every single day, and I use it to make sure I can cancel out my lid and then set it with a bit of eyeshadow so that my eyeshadow goes on better. I do have to say that this will crease on me if I use it on its own. This doesn't work for me as a primer, just saying. And another cream eyeshadow that I have to feature is the Colourpop Super Shock eyeshadows. I know Colourpop do very many different products, and I was really umming and ahhing what to feature here because I like their liquid lipsticks, I like their singles, I like the highlighter that I have, I like the blush that I have. I'm not a big fan of the foundation or the concealer though, but I do really like Colourpop as a brand, so I wanted to feature them here, and I decided to go in with this. This particular shade, especially in their Super Shock formula, is Ritz. And Ritz is a really nice sort of like beigey neutral base, but then it has a lot of cool toned like silvery sparkles. If you put this on your lid, it looks like you're wearing an eyeglass without wearing an eyeglass. It's that shiny. And I love wearing this if I want to go with a very sort of like neutral day. If I don't want to wear a lot of eyeshadow, then this is one of the shadows I reach for the most. I just prime my lids with this, go over with this, put on mascara, and I'm out the door. So this is one really, really great product. And I know that everybody likes the Super Shock formula because they dry out too quickly, but for me, these are perfect. And then last but not least, eyeshadow palettes. So I, of course, wanted to talk some eyeshadow and some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. And I think there are a couple of unexpected ones in here. Let's just start with Lorac Pro 3. Lorac is a great brand for eyeshadow. These were raved about years ago on YouTube. Not enough people talk about them anymore. Especially when this palette came out, a lot of people said it wasn't doing enough and that it was too samey. Yes, if you have medium tan or dark skin. If you're fair to light, like I am, then this works wonderfully as a neutral palette, and this is one of my favorite neutral palettes, if not the favorite neutral palette in my entire collection. I can work with every single shade in the palette, which with a lot of neutral palettes, I actually can only use like 4, and then I'm done because the rest just doesn't really work on my complexion. With this, I feel everything works. You get gorgeous shimmers, gorgeous mattes, a good couple of crease shades that can really sort of amp up the look, dark shades to make it smoky. I love this palette, and that's why I had to feature it in here, because I love Lorac as a brand, and this would be my favorite product by them. Even though I haven't tried anything other than their eyeshadow palettes, I think. I should definitely change it. If I'm in the US, I need to pick up some more Lorac. And as I was going through my drawer, I also thought, of course, I have to feature Julius Place, because in terms of eyeshadow, I love me some Julius Place, and I wanted to feature the Tribe, but now in hindsight, I was like, maybe I should have taken out my Magic palette because I love that too. But I think that in terms of color story, Julius Place is one of the brands that is doing something a lot more unique than many other brands. The eyeshadow formula is great, it's very affordable, and this stunning green, orange, grungy look, I mean, I love this palette to death, and I definitely want to use it a lot more in the future because this is a palette that just keeps going around in my head like, oh, I could do this look, oh, I could do that look. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to feature Julius in here, because their color stories just inspire me, and this is one of the most inspiring ones they do, so that's why I wanted to feature it in here. Last but not least, Anastasia. I like Anastasia as a brand, don't get me wrong. It's just that it took a long time for me to get on board with them as much as everybody else. I really didn't get the hype at first. I like their liquid lipsticks. In fact, I know a lot of people don't like those, but I could have featured one of those in here. But I was like, you know what? You know what was really the turning point for me and my love for Anastasia was this, the Norvina, which again was a little bit, not everybody liked it, but this has some stunning shimmers, some stunning mattes. The only thing I wish they do was change one of these warm tones into a matte dark purple. Then this would have been perfect. But other than that, this palette is just lovely. I love the pinks and purples you get in here. Works really well with my complexion. And this is what really got my love for Anastasia started, which is why I wanted to feature it in here. So there you go. So since my camera cut off halfway through, I have no clue whether I was able to keep this under 20 minutes. Because my camera films in 20-minute segments, but it's a bit wonky and it sometimes shuts itself down for no apparent reason. So I don't know how many minutes I had already filmed before going through everything, but fingers crossed I was able to keep it under 20 minutes. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel, and yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video, which will be up very, very soon. So see you then. Bye.